There are a lot of leadership myths that limit the success of really talented people in organizations. Number one, I need more control over my people in my organization. Let's get really clear. You can't even control your own mind. How are you going to control other people and their mind? It's not about control. It's all about influence. You know, whether you're talking about yourself, your kids, your family, your employees, your partners, your clients, how can you influence them better? Because you are not going to control them. Another one, I have to give clear instructions about what to do. Let me tell you something. If you're telling your people what to do, you're not a leader. What you really want as a leader is to give them a vision of possibilities and clarity about the results that they're responsible for. And not just clarity about you telling them about the results, but they have clarity about their responsibility for that result. When you give people the opportunity to really own the results that you want from them, you're going to get such better performance, engagement, and a desire to really deliver their best. When you're telling everybody about how to work, let me tell you something. They're waiting for you to tell them, and they're not taking responsibility, and you're not getting the best out of your people. Another one that's really funny is, I need to manage all the change we're trying to get here. Let me be clear once again. You do not manage change. You lead change. What does that mean? To lead means you've got a vision of the future that's compelling right now, that your people are really excited about. They understand it. They're committed to it. You've got a level of engagement and commitment that has them willing to move with you and deal with that change. One of the key issues about change is that if they don't see the value of that change as significantly greater than where they are now, why would they bother? Because they know you're going to end up with another one. That's the problem with lack of clarity and trying to manage the activities of change. Instead of giving them a compelling future of immense value that they want to be a part of and that they will own their actions in order to produce the result that we've agreed on. Oh, here's another one. How many meetings do you go to? And how many meetings are just unproductive, inefficient, ineffective? And just because you're in a meeting doesn't mean it's an important meeting. Every meeting needs to have an outcome that matters. If you don't have a meaningful outcome, not a list of discussion topics, but what results are we producing in this meeting? And what are the critical issues that need to be addressed in order to produce that result? And that comes in advance of the meeting. It's probably going to be a less than productive meeting. And I'll tell you what, you want to be unproductive? Schedule some more meetings without agendas and outcomes. Another one of the great myths of leadership. I need to know what's going on in my organization. You know, in the old days, when the leader used to accumulate all the information and they were the center of focus, they probably knew more than anybody else. If you run any kind of team bigger than 3 people and you know more than your people about different details, you got a problem. You need to know about our progress towards the results that they own. If they're not owning these results clearly that we've committed to, and they're not giving you progress updates on that, not activity updates, progress updates on the results, you've got another reason why your leadership is not going to be that great. Here's one of the biggest disasters I've ever seen. You've got senior leaders dealing with more senior leaders, and they feel like they have to have the answer to every question their boss is going to ask. Well, tell you what, if the boss would ask you those questions in advance, give you time to research, that's a good reason. But if what you're doing is accumulating details about all kinds of things that may or may not be asked and may or may not be very important, then you're wasting your time on things that are really about trying to appease your boss. If you've got a good boss, that boss should know he or she can trust you to deliver important results. And not to know everything in your organization. The bigger your organization, the less you should know about all the details, the more you should know about where you stand according to the results that you've committed to and that your people are working on. You need to know where you stand in relationship to the most important outcomes, not know all the little details about what's going on. That's crazy in this day and age. And here's one of the last great ones. Harry Truman made this one famous. The buck stops here. I'm the boss. It stops with me. Let me tell you something. If that means you haven't engaged your people, that means you're the last resort in everything. Guess what? That means all the junk goes on your desk. The buck stops here. No, The responsibility to ensure your people are doing well, are clear and focused on what's most important, that's what stops here. You're not responsible for everything. You're responsible to make sure the outcomes, the vision and the mission and the goals are clear, that your people understand what's most important, that they've committed and are engaged to deliver that, and you know where they stand with those. That's what you're really responsible for if you want to be a great leader.